Hello, everyone. This is ADS or Adam, whichever you know me by or call me by. Today, instead of streaming other games, I decided to stream development of the game I've been working on for about like over 4.5 years. Galastar. You've probably, if I mean, you don't see me post constant updates on it on Facebook or occasionally on Twitter. Um, it's I sometimes have like some sneak peeks of it. But yeah, it's been in development for a while. Uh I usually definitely let people know when I'm working on it. So I decided to let some people kind of see what I'm doing when I work on it. Um anyways, I guess we should get started. Um if you've seen any updates on my Facebook page or anywhere, that I post regularly on, you probably know that I've been working on fixing up a lot of the bosses. Galastar has 5 bosses, technically 5, um, and honestly, all of them were like really unbalanced and just not predictable. It wasn't. It just it. I didn't like it. I've like the first boss in the game was like probably the hardest actually. He would like shoot a bunch of like bullets in front of him or whatever, and it was just he was really hard to hit. Anyways, um, what I'm working on now is I'm working on the fourth boss, who is currently known as Elytris. She was originally called Paravoid. I'm trying to figure out where it is. I have like folders for each, like for different types of objects and shit. But yeah, technically she's called Paravoid because Paravoid was a really old name for this boss. I was mixing Paravoid, like parasite and insect, so or insectoid. So it was kind of a mishmash, and I turned into Paravoid. But now that I've looked at it, it starts to look like paranoid. And I mean, while bugs can be a little erratic in how they move, I would not consider this boss to be paranoid. Actually, before I even begin working on this, let me show you how she works now. She was the way she originally worked is that she kind of move in an elliptical pattern and she'd shoot randomly, and occasionally she would shoot these like eggs outside of her back, like a queen of a colony or whatever. And now essentially it's completely different. It's here. I will. You know what? I'll just show you if I can. Yeah, right here. I don't think I've ever shown anyone like actual footage of this. Goodness gracious, that's laggy. But yeah, this is she kind of moves in. I'll change it afterwards. But yeah, she kind of moves in an up and down kind of pattern. She'll stop every 5 seconds and she will shoot like a laser at you. The only way she's and yeah, one of her big perks. Yep, she will avoid your bullets. If you do manage to hit her, she does take damage, but it's ridiculously minimal damage. Like, okay, so I think she has, as of now, 300 health. So that's like 300 individual units. If you were to sorry, I'm trying to figure out the right resolution because I think it's lagging because it's right down here. If you were to shoot her while she I'm losing my train of thought. Yeah, if you shot her while she's just kind of moving around, she would take like a tenth of a unit of damage. No, not even a tenth, a 20th. So it's honestly, as far as I'm concerned, it's not worth like Well, I mean technically with this, I'll get to that, but you could do this. I mean technically you could spam it, but it would take so long, it would not be worth it. But what you want to do is if you can get here. I'll show you actually a second time. When she stops and she begins to shoot her laser, you want to bomb her using like this, and she's about to do it now, I believe. She's not completely finished, so my plan is that she's not actually gonna, shoot those lasers when she's stunned. But, and that is my roommate that just walked past me. You heading out? You heading out?
Soon.
Okay.
I'm actually just gonna call my mom real quick, but yeah.
You can call your mom? Okay. Anyways.
As well, TJ, sorry.
Okay. No, you're fine.
Interrupting and everything.
My stupid freaking roommate says I need to interrupt my stream. Bastard. Alright. But, yeah, you would bomb her, and she would, yeah, I'm gonna get out of this, actually. But you would bomb her, you have to actually hit her. Like, you can't just, like, go on the outside, because technically enemies, if you're, as of now I have it set the bomb will destroy any enemy that's on screen. So you couldn't just, like, bomb anywhere, and she would instantly become stunned. Technically, that's actually what the little insects that come out on her on the sides, the like babies, quote unquote. They actually guard her, and they keep her from taking any damage from other bombs if you shoot from the outside. So you actually have to get in front of her and shoot a bomb at her before she shoots her lasers, because my plan is that those lasers are going to do a hell of a lot of damage. I mean, she's the fourth boss, for crying out loud. She's the boss right before the final boss, so she should be kind of hard. Anyways, actually, let's actually go to that laser and give it some damage now. I also had pizza. Oh yeah, my roommate though, he was getting ready for this thing he does every Thursday with a bunch of other people at our college, called Snug, which stands for SCAD Nerf Underground. SCAD's the college I go to. I'm speaking like nobody knows that I'm going to SCAD. I mean, I'm pretty sure anybody that's watching the stream knows me personally, but yeah. So it's basically like they're like 3 games within like 2 hours, and they play like a bunch of. It's a Nerf war essentially. But let's see. Actually, you know what? I don't want to go to here. I think do I have this working all right? 100.2 seconds alpha. Um, this code or script, whatever you want to call it, just has it so that when like Elytris shoots it, it becomes more and more transparent, and then eventually it destroys. Oh, you know what? No, there is a thing I have to do. Oh, and yeah, if you expected me to do this whole thing hard-coded, be prepared for disappointment. I use a thing called Game Salad, which if you've ever used Game Maker before, you'll be it's very similar to how Game Maker works. Only I consider it to be actually, yeah, I consider it to be a little superior in certain aspects. I mean, Game Maker does have some superior things on its own, but I prefer Game Salad over it. First off, because Game Salad was on the Mac before Game Maker was on the Mac. Actually, Game Salad was initially just on the Mac. It wasn't until like maybe a couple years ago that they added it onto the PC, and I don't know like how good it is. I've seen how it looks, um, but I haven't really gotten my hands on it. I mean, I don't really care to because I have a Mac. I'm just having it so that once it's completely transparent, it just kind of destroys. It goes away, so it doesn't kind of hang around there while being invisible and still do damage to you. Let's see. There we are. Change game health at 100. I have like a folder for whenever the ship, the Green Hawk, like hits any projectile from an enemy. I'm just trying to figure out where the hell that is.
If I may intrude for 1 second.
Ladies and gentlemen, Philip Trainer.
Wait.
Can you
Hang on. Give me.
No, God. He's gonna play Danger Zone. Just do it. Just do it, Phil. Interrupt my stream. For a second, I thought there was like a female, like, whatever, like a female singer. Anyways, I need to actually do this.
I had to.
Oh, don't blame me, man.
Got this hat today. Can put a patch on it.
I was paying a lot more attention to the aviators you had on.
I've had the aviators.
I know you have, but I just want to see you wear them. Why would you even wear? Yeah, I was gonna say you don't wear those when it's like
Oh,
fucking
God, no.
8 o'clock at night.
Adam, all it takes is one collision and.
Well, I mean that's not what I'm worried about. You're gonna bump into everything. Wait a minute. I mean, you know what? Well, I'm not sure. Is it? No, it's in here. Isn't it? Oh, here we go. Take damage and death. I was looking for a projectile or something. Yep, that is everything that can hurt you. Some of them are open, but yeah, they seem to be more. More of them are open the further I get down. But a lot of things can hurt you. But I mean, it's a shoot 'em up, so what's to expect? Okay, so if Edgar collides with I'm definitely gonna make this take a huge chunk out of your health. Ooh, in fact, I think that's already a ton of. Oh my god, that's gonna be a lot. I think because she shoots like 7 of them, and that's like every 30th of a second. Let's just take a look at this. There we go. Eh, this is a little bit. I mean, not as much as it could, but a decent amount regardless. Um, let's make it a little bigger. Let's make it like 4. Actually, yeah, 4 works. Because my plan is that the more transparent the laser gets, the less damage it would do. So as it like slowly dissipates, it would just do less damage. Not for any particular reason. Like you can't really use that to your. Well, I mean, yeah, you couldn't really use it to your advantage. It's just simply because it makes sense, I guess. I just have to scroll all the way down and find it. I should probably close these actually. Laser launch dash. Good God. Shockwave. Okay. Here we go. Alright, so now it will do like twice as much damage as before. So. No thanks.
No, you just put it in a bottle or something.
I mean, I maybe later, but I mean, not right now. I mean,
Sorry, just didn't want to waste.
I may have it later. Whatever.
It's right there.
Yep, cool. Yeah, my roommate was just offering me a few grams of cocaine. I mean, a bottle of Coke.
Cocaine in a bottle of Coke.
Well, you did give me a bottle of Coke. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. I will literally show you all that. She gave me a bottle of Coke.
Alright, let's see.
Later, potato.
Also, if you're worried about darts, I got some of the 10 packs in here.
Oh my god. Just close my door. Yeah, my roommate may or may not have an obsession with Nerf guns. But, just thinking how I'm going to make it so that the lasers will do like less damage. I mean, that's not that hard. Where is it? There we go. Okay, these are my global attributes. Attributes are basically variables to anyone, to any of y'all that like actually program. But yeah, I'm just gonna make one that I'll just kind of let you kind of figure it out for yourself. I guess. No, well, what I'm doing here is that. Oh God, no! I just hit the minus button, so hopefully only that attribute will be gone. No, no, no. Okay, okay, okay. It's all good. I was hoping it would do this. Yeah, it would just give me a little warning, because technically this attribute has not been used. So transparency. So what I'm gonna have it is that this attribute or this variable is going. There we go. So this is going to be equal to the laser's transparency. So the highest that actually we'll call it opacity. That's technically what people call it. Um, but the highest the opacity of something can go to is 1. So what I'm doing is I'm having that attribute be equal to 1, and what I will do is that I will have that global attribute be constrained, essentially meaning that it will always change itself to be equal to the laser's opacity, or alpha, technically, if you want to get into even more technical vocabulary. But yeah, so this will always be equal to this. So once this hits 0, this will hit 0. This interpolate means that it will like change from 1, or well, in this case, it would change from 1 to 0 within 0.3 seconds. So what I will then do is I will go over to the Green Hawk, and I will adjust it so that instead of doing 4 damage every like frame, because it's about 30 frames per second, every 30th of a frame, or not 30th of a frame, that would be like 90 frames per second, every 30th of a second, instead of having it be it will take 4 damage every 30th of a second, it will instead have it so that you do 4 damage times the transparency. So if the transparency is at 1, you'll take 4 damage every 30th of a second. If the transparency is at 0.5, since it's 4 times 0.5, you will be at you'll instead just take 2 damage every 30th of a second. Here we go, right here. Minus 4 times transparency. I'll probably actually change that name so it's more specific, because transparency could apply to a lot of different things. Ugh, excuse me. One second. I'm just checking something. Okay, so is there? Oh yeah, I'm just gonna go change the name. To be honest, I actually have no idea why it's called alpha per se. I know why it's called opacity or transparency, but I have no idea why it's called alpha. I'm gonna go have another slice, another slice of life. Oh yeah, a little small thing I added actually. Um, I have this that whenever your ship, since it's a touchscreen game, is going on your phone. Um, if your ship collides or is like overlaid with the buttons, well, actually, let's say, I think, I think it went, it's affecting it because yeah, it kind of slowed down the health bar. Yeah, okay, cool, cool. But yeah, what I was saying is that like if your ship overlaps any of the buttons, they go more transparent, so you can see the ship more easily. All right, so I think what's next? Here's what I'll do. As of now, these guys, the things that Elisha spawns, um, they're invincible. So, well, that's part of my plan. I'm actually gonna make it so that they're only invisible when they're guarding her, but when they move out of the way and that kind of when they spread out, I will have it so that they will be able to take damage. Hmm. So it moves to a position and it stays stationary for about 3 seconds, and then it moves out. So I'm gonna have it so that when it starts to move out, at that same time it will be vulnerable, which is a Boolean attribute, so that it'll be set from false, which is unchecked, to true, which would be checked. Um, but yeah, let's so now that it's vulnerable, we will now have it so that if the ship overlaps or collides with the Greenhawk's laser, um, funny, should I give them health? I don't think I'm gonna give them like any health. It's just gonna be like, well, here you know what? I'll give it like an amount of health, but it'll be like one. So health, I'm just gonna have it now so that its health will go down by one. So it'll be at zero if it touches your lasers. So it'll be dead when I'm done programming that. Set health to health -1. So also what I'm gonna have these things do is their explosions. Yeah, I'm gonna work on that now actually. So well, you bomb Elytris to make her vulnerable, but you only can have a maximum of 5 bombs. So you're eventually gonna run out of bombs. So I mean, what I'm gonna have happen is that instead of you being completely bombless and eventually being destroyed by Elytris, because you can't just hang out there forever. I mean, I guess you could, and you could probably hang out there for a while because as of now, she's not that hard. Um, because the only time she actually attacks is when she's stationary and it goes in a straight line. But um, you would be able to beat her. But I am going to have it so that the explosions that are created when you destroy those like babies, they will drop bombs. Technically, I have explosions that will drop that'll have dropped. Like they can drop health canisters that replenish your health, canisters that replenish your shield, um, canisters that give you that bring up your bomb count, and then canisters that give you like 500 extra points. Um, but I'm just gonna have it so that these explosions will have a higher chance of dropping bombs. Which one is that? I think it's. I wanna say it's. Is it medium explosion? I have like so many of these, and I don't even think I need like half of them. No, that's not it. What is it? Does the bomb drop it? No, no, never mind. I was just thinking of something. Explosions. Explosion. Green explosion. Health particle explosion. Oh yeah, that's for asteroids. Certain asteroids will drop health particles, which give you little bits of health. What the fuck? Ball explosion. Oh, maybe it's no. Oh, well, gee, maybe it's explosion, not medium explosion. Yep, that's definitely it. So I'm gonna duplicate this actor. Yeah, Game Toad is not famous for being fast. It's happened more than once where I'll get that pinwheel, like regardless if I'm streaming or not, or regardless if I'm in this eye-popping 1440p that I doubt any of you can even see because it's probably I first off I don't think my streaming software is even set to that. In fact, I think it's set to like 960p or something. So I mean I'm already in the stream, so I'm not gonna change it. But I mean yeah, this is on 1440p, and hopefully you can see everything. All right. No, I don't. I'm an idiot. I'm wasting y'all's time. I'm sorry. Um, I want to duplicate it, not double click on it and open it. Explosions. There we go. Mini Mini Elytras and Baby Elytras are like the same thing. I call them Baby Elytras on here, but or I call them Baby Elytras like when I'm just talking about them, but Mini Elytras is technically what they're called on here. So power up chance, we'll change that to bomb chance, and it'll be from 1 to 3. I want to make it relatively often so that it will drop bombs because I don't want you to be waiting like 2 hours before you even hit anything. Anyways, no, not shield replenish canister, not score canister, not health canister, but definitely bomb canister. Definitely want that. Um, so yeah, now like, oh well, first off, I don't want that to be number 5. 3. But Actually, let me switch this back to 0. But yeah. So in like a 1 in 3 chance, the explosion will drop a bomb, canister, not an actual bomb. Oh, that would make the game even, or the bullets even more hard than it needs to be. But yeah, then your bomb count would go up. Ugh. I thought I heard a knock. I will wait until I hear another knock. I haven't heard another knock, so there's probably no one there, and I am probably hearing things. Okay. So health -1. So create rule when attribute health is its health is less than 1. Jesse447. May I ask who you are, Jesse447? Um, when health is less than 1. Is she he or she? Well, yeah, she, because technically it has a Y at the end of it. Is this person still on? I'm trying to focus on this. Like, okay, so I have it. So I have two screens right now. So I have like my monitor that I'm currently looking at. That has like the obviously the screen on it. That's my 1440p monitor, and I'm looking at where my webcam is on. I'm looking at my laptop screen. Yeah, okay. So whoever the well, I guess we'll never know who that was. I don't know a Jesse. So do we know Jesse? No. Okay, I know. Yeah, the only Jesse I ever knew in my entire life outside of a Toy Story character was like someone from like elementary school, and he had an E, not a Y. Uh, so what I will do is that it will spawn the explosion actor object the same thing. So if you see actor on here and I say object, I mean them synonymously or interchangeably. Did I have? I would have forgot the name I gave it. There we go. Oh, that's okay. Gee, I wish I knew that. I was thinking it was like bomb explosion or something, and the actor that showed up was actually the explosion, the blue explosion that happens when you shoot a bomb. So let's change that. In front of actor, and then we'd have it so that this actor will be destroyed. And then I'm gonna copy most, if not all, yeah, all of this code over. Well, not all of it. I'll actually have to rewrite some of it on my own without being able to copy and paste it. Because, okay, so what I have is I have actually two of these. Ones that go right, or to you, right, and then, okay, I can't tell which right is. Whatever. One goes right and the other goes left. So yeah, to you, it would be this and this. Yeah, so I have two of them that do that. They essentially they do the exact same thing outside of the direction they move, which is what I'm about to make sure right now that they're exactly the same, so that they both can take damage and die and drop bombs. Continue. Um, that just meant I had like an attribute on there that didn't. Don't worry about it. That error message. I know what that means, and it's nothing to fret about. If any of you were even worried about it in the first place. Vulnerable. Actually, no, that would be. I'll change that to health because That's actually an integer attribute. So, and then a Boolean attribute would be vulnerable. So after 3 seconds, this actually is not going to have anything to do with bombable attribute. I just copy and pasted it because it's easier. Uh, vulnerable to true. Okay, so now when this one moves, it will also be vulnerable. And active type laser and oh, you know what? I need to actually add something to the other one's code because technically vulnerable whether or like if it gets hit by a laser, regardless if it has that vulnerable attribute on or off, it's obsolete because it's not checking for that. So I'll add that onto here. Health -1. So let's set this to 1. And oh yeah, I gotta add that. So attribute. So this what this was gonna do is that this is gonna check. So when all the conditions are valid, so if this guy comes in contact with my laser and the vulnerable attribute is on, then it will, or if the vulnerable attribute is set to true, technically on, but if you want to get into the real specifics, then it will set the health to health -1. So here, I'm actually gonna go over that. And because first off, there's actually some code I'm going to copy and paste from that to here, and also because I need to add this, the vulnerable, checking if it's vulnerable. Sorry if that sounds a little gross. I was popping some joints. There we go. All right, 10 years later. There we go. So if it comes in contact with the laser, but also if the vulnerable attribute is set to true, then it will set its health to health -1, and therefore the 0 killing it is true. Okay. I can't help but think that Jesse447 is probably one of those, like, I guess you would say, like, bots, or maybe not even bot, but just okay, have you ever been on Skype and you get like a contact request, but from someone you don't even know, and then but you add them anyways because hey, maybe it's someone that I know. I don't know that I know them. Like you know them, but you don't know their username and they friend you. So maybe they just found my Skype, and you friend them, and then you get stuff like, "Hey, hello, how are you doing? Are you single? Would you like to get together?" Um, and yeah, I've gotten that more than once. Actually, there was this one that, so there was this one that I got like in January. And this person, I'm pretty confident it's a bot because it's ridiculously persistent. I haven't gotten one from it in a while, but I friended them or I added them to my contacts on Skype, and all they would do is like every now and then they say hi, hello, hi, hello, hello, hi, 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 hello. They would send me like into like these random out of the blue chat messages saying hello or hi, one of the two at random intervals. I I honestly the only reason I didn't like block that person was because it was actually kind of entertaining. Because even though it's probably a bot, I kind of like the idea someone um someone like just desperate to try to get my attention and just keeps on like like once a day will just be like hi, hello, please speak to me. I have no friends. Will you be my friend? Ugh. But that's probably not the case. It's probably a bot because I don't think any human being would be that persistent unless they are like a long lost lover, which I mean I don't think I have right now. Hashtag forever alone. Just kidding. I don't really care. So I think that's it. Let's check it out. Ugh. It's so laggy. There we go. Alright, so it works. Yep, and my bombs go up, so that's cool. Alright, fantastic. I actually now I'm gonna make it so that the lasers, technically, they actually go um, right through the ships. And I think they do. Yeah, they do, I think. So I'm gonna have it so that these ships are under the tag of enemy. So I have it so that whenever the laser hits an actor with a certain tag. So here, if you look at the shop down menu, like I have all these different like folders or tags. So like asteroids, like any asteroid that's in the game will have the tag asteroid. So if I wanted something, if I wanted an actor to do something, if it collided with an actor or with like an asteroid, any asteroid, I could have it so that if it collided with any actor with that tag, it would do this instead of having it so that like if it collided with this, if it collided with this, if it collided with this, if I'm making any sense. I mean, sometimes I worry that I'm speaking, I may sound like I'm talking complete gibberish to people when I talk about my game developing, but I could be totally wrong. I could be totally wrong. Most people say they understand what I'm talking about, but they could just say that so I don't repeat it again. Yeah, okay, so I'm actually gonna have to go to the home area and go to actors. Go all the way down here where the mini Elytruses currently reside. Grab these, drag them over to the enemy tag. I really hope you all can see this because I'm actually starting to get a little concerned that this, like, that the text, because this is 1440p, so relative to the size of the screen, the text is kind of small. And if this is on 960p, oh my god, well, it wouldn't be 960p. It will be something else. I know it's like the width is 960 and then the height is like something else. But here, you know what? I'm gonna check. Actually, I'm looking at it right now. Well, actually, no, that's not. I'm looking at like my streaming software's preview or whatever. Oh, and if I haven't said so already, I apologize if there's like a delay between my speaking and the audio. Um, yeah, but there's nothing I can really do about that. Settings, output, bitrate. Sorry, I'm like. Oh no, you know what? There's nothing to worry about that. It's like 1080p, so that's not gonna be an issue. I hope. You should be able to like somewhat be able to read this. All right, so those are now tagged as enemies. So let me see how that looks. There we go. I did change the opening cutscene a little bit, the opening sequence. I did add some extra stuff to it, and I would show it to you all. But it's so laggy that it would not do it justice because they're actually the text that shows up that kind of talks to you about the events that happened previous to this game. They're supposed to go in sync with the music, and I mean it's also just laggy, so I don't want you to have to see it at its worst. Yep, there we go. Okay, fantastic. Okay, for a moment, I thought it was just not moving. I'm like, yo, you should be moving now, but it wasn't moving. It takes like I think yeah, it takes 7 seconds for it to begin moving again. So I guess it just felt longer than usual. Like just to me, I don't know. But anyways, so on the what's on the agenda now? I think I'm gonna have it so that first off, I think I'm gonna actually do a quick run of this boss fight actually because I want to see just how difficult she is at her current state. I imagine she's not that difficult now. I mean, except for when you have to. Well, I mean, kind of difficult, but if you don't go in front of her, you'll be fine as of now. But I want to see how long it would take on average to beat her because she has, I think, 300 health. Yeah, she has 300 health. If like you can't see my cursor, but if you look on the left, and you look on that list of my attributes, which are the things next to the numbers, the 300 is the health. The second one, not this one, not the one on the top. Let's do a run of the boss fight. Steam controller. Actually, I have it so that my game can check for gamepads or controllers. So if you have like an Xbox 360 controller, I think, yeah, if you have an Xbox 360 controller, if you have like a PlayStation 3 controller, you it will detect it and you'll be able to use it when playing for the most part. I mean, some bits don't work, like you can't shoot bombs yet with the controller, but you can move, you can shoot, you can shield. Although the way you move is you use the triggers. Yep, there we go. Okay, it's working. I guess you can't shield right now. I don't know why. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna use it. I'll explain why in a minute. Oh God. I totally forgot how to fight this. The fact that I move a lot slower when I'm testing this is probably not doing this boss fight justice. No, I don't want to shoot other bombs. Oh, shoot. Why did I... Yeah, okay, so I have it so that you can't actually bomb her. You can only bomb her right before she's about to shoot her lasers. So, But, if she shoots her lasers afterwards and she's still stationary, you can't do anything to her. You know what, actually? I'm not even gonna be able to tell if she's, I'm not actually gonna be able to tell if she's, out, if she's like out of health or not, because she has no death animation. I don't think. But I'm probably gonna do that now. Actually, I'm thinking what I'm going to do for her. Because a lot of the bosses, yeah, every boss kind of has its own unique kind of death, kind of animation. So the first boss, it's just a bunch of explosions. Essentially, every boss like death animation is a bunch of explosions, but the way they're like acting during it. So like the first one, so the first boss moves left and right, and once you defeat it, it still moves, but it's a bunch of explosions, and after like 8 of them, it actually gets destroyed. The second one, Top Titan, which I have also posted about, once you defeat him, he starts spinning really. His thing is that he spins like he's kind of like a top per se. He'll just spin more and more rapidly, like out of control, and then he'll eventually die. This third boss, Orbitus, which I have not posted. Well, I think I did actually a long time ago, a few months ago. But when he dies, he kind of like, well, technically, it's not much different than the first bosses. The first boss was called Space Devil. Space Devil was with like the bland boss death with the explosions. That's essentially the same for Orbitus, only right before he completely blows up, he kind of grows like as if he is like holding it, whatever. Basically, every boss has a different kind of explosion or different kind of death animation. So what I'm gonna do for this is that I'm gonna have it so that Elytris will, you know what? I'm just changing the name to Elytris because I keep seeing that there, and I call it Elytris, and it just does. I don't like that. But what I'm gonna have is that she will start to like kind of move around, like in within a small area, but she will like kind of move around very slightly but noticeably, and then explode. If you've ever played the game Galaga Arrangement, which is like a Galaga it's Gal. It was an arcade game. It was a really cool arcade game of Galaga, but like the graphics were updated. There was actually a boss at the end of the game, which is what I'm basing this off of King Galastar. And when he dies, he like moves around on the screen, and there are like explosions, and then he dies. That's what I'm kind of basing it off of. So here I'm going to create rule when attribute. See, so an attribute new health is less. And oh, you know what? I think yeah, this is already a thing. So when it's less than 0.05, because when she's actually like moving around, and she's like not stationary, you can do damage to her that will like, but it's minimal, which I mentioned. But so we'll have it so that she is no longer moving. So Elytris. Actually, I'm gonna change, put her red back to 1. I'm gonna make it so that her linear velocity, um, position, um, motion, linear velocity, x is set that to 0. I'm gonna go over and change these. Stunned is false. It's false. So if you notice, Elytris, she moves kind of up and down in a kind of sine wavy kind of pattern. Uh, and so that's just my little brother texting me. But she moves kind of up and down in a wavy kind of pattern. And this is what this is. Her moving up and moving down folders. So I'm making it so that she no longer moves up and down when she dies. So when new health is greater than 0, then I'm gonna have that for this. So when attribute righteous no health is greater than 0, Okay, cool. So now she will not do that when she dies. So she won't move left or right. She won't move up and down. I imagine. Um, so that means that I'm going to actually set up random shooting speed. I have a bunch of old attributes that I use for her original boss fight. The way she, okay, yeah, I said that she originally worked. I'll actually say it again. Um, so she would move in an elliptical pattern, and she would shoot randomly. Eventually, occasionally, she would shoot little purple lasers out of her mouth, and she'd move a little faster. And then every now and then, she would release or unleash this barrage of like little mini insects, not like the baby Elishes, they were different, and they'd all fall down to you in a giant wall. But every other time she does that, they would all go like into her, like they'd all like target her, and they would leave her stunned. So I'm gonna make it so that. So I'm actually gonna use some of the old code from that, or the old attributes from that, and reuse them for something a little better. So like for this, init x, init y. So initial x and initial y. Technically, it's not their initial x or initial y because um, don't worry about it. I'll explain it when I do it. So when it's less than 0.5, change attribute. So what I'm going to do is that the init x, the initial x, will be will that attribute will be changed to Alicia's current position, which will be her ex, um, her ex boyfriend. No, so I did it the other way around. So sorry. Change change init x to I just have that as her actual position x to that, and then I will do the same for her init y. So what this will be is that she will right when she dies, right when she's about to die, these the init x and the init y will be equal to her initial position right when she's about to die. So then what I'll do is that every like tenth of a second, she will like change her x or y to move within at most about maybe like 5 pixels from the init x and the init y. So it's complicated, but it keeps her it limits her motion essentially. What I'm doing here, or okay, so init y to y to her position and y. Okay, so excuse me. It's not that's a thing. We will then have it so that every 0.1 second, we'll say, we will have her interpolate her x and y. So when it wants to load that up, so she will move from her x position to the initial x, which technically it already is at. However, it will be, what will it be? Yeah, plus random -5 or 5. So her range of movement would be up to 5 pixels minus her initial x, or 5 pixels plus her initial x. So essentially, if her initial x and initial y were marked as a dot on, like, when, if that was marked as a dot, she would only be able to move within 5 pixels of that dot. I'll make that so it's 0.1 seconds, so it's equal to that. And what this is going to happen so that every 0.1 second, it will move to another position in 0.1 seconds. So hopefully this will look okay. I mean, knowing my luck, there'll probably be something really ridiculous that I'll have no idea. As I said, GameZilla is not known for being fast. I mean, then again, I have a ridiculous amount of code all over anything. You'd be surprised at how many errors I have and problems I have come from simply just careless mistakes. Okay, cool. So we have that. So let's change your health actually down to, let's change it down to 1. Just so it's easy, so we don't have to fight her completely before, um, So let's see if this decides to load up. That is, of course. Um, as I said, GameZilla is not known for being fast. I mean, then again, I have a ridiculous amount of code all over the place, and probably it's all a lot of it's really unorganized because I'm an amateur. So that's probably a lot of it. It's just processing all that code. All right, let's see once this boss starts to come in. Kind of. Yeah, yeah. Cool. So it is doing it. Okay, cool. So kind of, she's moving left and right, but she's not moving up and down. So I'll have to figure out how to do that. How to fix that. I may have just not changed an attribute or something. I hope. Oh yeah, and also I have so much code here that like GameSolid has to like render it or something, I guess, because technically there are graphics on here and it has to render it because it's not just simple text. Um, so that takes a while sometimes, longer than I would like, especially when you have something very important like what I'm working on right now, but it's at the very bottom. In the meantime, I'm actually going to go look at what my brother texted me. My little brother, what he texted me. Excuse me. Is this shit? Okay, there we go. Oh, wow. Okay, that's a lot more than I expected. Okay. Oh, well. Okay, never mind. It's just because this was opened. Okay, there we go. Alrighty then. So, okay, so that's right. Oh, okay, that's why. Yeah, it's changing her initial Y to her initial Y plus a random amount of either -5 up to +5. Then that's not at all what I want. I want it to be her position Y. So now this should work. Yeah. Anytime. Anytime. I'm trying to imitate the genie from Aladdin when, like, Aladdin's all depressed and she's like, your line is, I'm going to free the genie anytime. If any of y'all could hear that. I don't know if y'all could have heard that over the music. Okay, let's see how this boss fight, or not really a boss fight, but the death animation so far is looking. Oh yeah, every boss also has its own original like entrance animation, I guess, like how she moves in the background. Yep, there we go. Cool. All right, so now that that is done, well, first off, I have to wait like a million years for this code to render. Kind of a drawback of it not being physical, like the drawback of it being like a GUI versus like hard code is simply because you have to render all this, and there's a lot of it. There we go. And now we're making progress. Just something on my phone. I would tell you all about it, but I would probably butcher it because they say like if you tell like let's say that they're like you see this show with a comedian, Adam, and you love the comedian and you want to tell your friends about it. So you go over and you tell your friends the joke that the comedian made. You're gonna tell him what he said. So like let's say the comedian's telling a story. You're telling a story about how the comedian is telling a story, and essentially your delivery of it is gonna make it so much worse because you're not the comedian, and it's not even gonna be worth telling them. But yeah. So I mean, I'm just not gonna butcher it. And I mean, it's not really important. So that's right. Sorry, my just there was a cord I had that was in the way. So every like I'm gonna have it set every random amount of seconds. So you would think I could put like random like 1 to 3, 4 seconds, but it's apparently a little more complicated than that. So random shooting. I'm trying to just okay here. I'm just gonna use this. So I'm recycling all of these attributes. I think I've recycled like I think I've recycled all of them. Oh, except for health. Except for health. That's you know what? Actually, I'm gonna use that one instead because that's an index attribute, which is essentially an index attribute means that random explode timer. So what an index attribute is that it's just a number that it has to be an integer, which is any like whole number, so like no 1.5, and it has to be greater than 0. So it can't be like -1 or -1.5 or anything like that. It has to be 0 and above in integers. So I'm just using that because it's gonna be 0 and above and integers. So random explode timer. So every random explode timer seconds. Seconds. And then I'm also gonna have that to that. I kind of hate using timers because timers are actually apparently kind of resource heavy. Um, so I mean, I know I shouldn't, but I just do. But whatever. Anyways, so every 0.03 seconds, change Elytris, random explosion timer 2. random 1 10 divided by 10. So what I'm doing here is a 10. Yeah, you would think that I could do, like, instead of this, I could just do 0.1 to 1. So like the minimum is would be this, and then the maximum would be this. It would be separated by the comma if you can't see it. Um, but apparently I learned this um, that apparently the random function on here doesn't like um, doesn't like fractions or decimals. Like it doesn't. It will only use whole numbers. So I'd have to do one, like, with a random amount of either up to 1 to 10, and then I divide that by 10. So essentially, it would be a random amount between zero point 0.1 to 1. So in this case, every zero point 0.1 to up to zero point 0.1 to 1 seconds, it will spawn an explosion at. We'll also make this random. So, trying to see what the random. Let's see what the size is on here. Because I'm gonna have it so explosions will show up on any, like, area or location on the actor. So random position X minus, I think it's like, what's that? Let me oh man, I'm just gonna calculate that. 33 divided by 2. So yeah, 60. So it's 66.5, but I'm gonna round up and make it 67. So 67 position X plus 67. And then for the Y, random position Y, and 179 is its height. So 179 divided by 2, yeah, that's what I thought. 89, so I'll do minus 90. So position Y plus 90. That is an underscore. That is an equal sign. That is a plus sign. Math with Adam. Okay, so yeah, that should be all right. I think. Yeah, run to completion. Run to completion has it so that. So I don't know if it would apply for this, but okay. So let's say we wanted an actor to make a sound, and the sound was, let's say, 2 seconds. And when it made the sound after 2 seconds, or no, when it made this 2 second long sound, after 1 second, it would be destroyed. So technically, since the actor is destroyed, it wouldn't be able to execute the sound making. Therefore, the sound would stop right when it got destroyed. But if you have it so that it's set to completion, this set to completion thing applies like they have it when you have like a create sound behavior. But if you have it set to completion, even when the actor gets destroyed, it will still play the sound. That's what it does. But let's check this out. Any minute now. Any minute. There we go. Oh, I'm gonna head to the music. You know, I thought the game was actually running at a decent frame per second, but then when that explosion came and it was so laggy, I was like, maybe not. Whoa, whoa, what? What the fuck? What? What just happened? What the fuck? I have no idea what happened there. What the heck? What is going on? That's so weird.
Now, my friend predicted Prince's death 2 years ago.
Okay, I'm streaming right now.
But look real quick.
Wow.
What the fuck?
What?
The fuck?
Okay, so if you couldn't hear that, oh my god. What? Okay, so pause this for a minute. My roommate, I have three roommates. Long story, but one of them had a friend. So as you might know, um, Prince died. Prince, the singer, I think. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know much about Prince, but he died at 57. Rest in peace. But today, on April 21st, 2016, apparently, my roommate had a friend who said that Prince is gonna die 2 years. Like to quote it, Prince is gonna die 2 years from now. Just you wait. On April 21st, 2014. I want to say that it's some kind of like phony kind of thing, like a prank or whatever. I mean, it looks like it, but as far as I know, it looks legit, and that's kind of freaky. Anyways, what the hell was that? So here, you know what? I'm gonna have it so that every wait a minute, huh? Is this the hell? No, it can't be. Is it? Oh, I'm just trying to see something here. So you know what? I'm gonna have it so that this is set to one. Oh, 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 oh! I know what it was. Oh my god. So, you know how I said that that index attributes can only be integers above 0? I knew that, but I wasn't thinking that. So, the random explode timer, which if you look over to the left, is an index attribute. I had it set so that it was a random 1 to 10 divided by 10, so 0.1 to 1, which is something that it cannot do. So, don't use this for now. Random explode timer. I'm gonna make it to the one below it, which is a real attribute, which is literally any number you want. I mean, for all I know, you could probably make it so that it's pi, like the number pi. If you wanted to be the word pi, you'd have to use a totally different attribute. But oh wait, no, I do want that. Okay, change that. So random explode timer to this random explode timer. Yeah. Good job. So technically, even though it says random explode timer, it's still thinking of the old index one, which we don't want to use. We want to use this. Yeah. So random explode timer seconds, run to completion. Okay. Hopefully, we won't have that again. But we'll just have to find out. Will Elysius move correctly? Will she die? Will she even be beatable? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. Defeating a sandwich only makes it tastier. If you haven't seen this already, look up Oni's Dragon's Ball P. It's fantastic. It's a parody on Dragon Ball Z. If you couldn't tell by the name, Dragon's Ball P. There's also a sequel called Dragon's Ball PP. Anyways, let's take a look at this. I like even like if that attribute is technically invalid, like with it being a decimal when it's an index, it's so weird. Like I've never seen anything act like that. What? Yeah, that had nothing to do with that. What the fuck? Oh god. And thus becomes and and here comes the part that every programmer or game developer hates. Debugging. And you're probably gonna hate this too because it's probably gonna be boring as hell. Actually, I'm gonna turn the lights on. If you all can even see me, well, probably you can see me because my screen, my 1440p monitor screen, is ridiculously bright, and it's really hard to adjust the brightness for it. Because it's like I really like the monitor, but it's really hard to adjust. So like it's like the brightness only goes down so low, and it's so bright. It's brighter than my monitor. The monitor is brighter than my laptop at its highest brightness settings. It's ridiculous. And if I bring the brightness down lower, it will have kind of this red tint to it, and I hate it. So yeah. Anyways, taking damage down here. I just gotta wait for There we go. Oh, that's junk code. Never mind. Yeah, the junk code that just consists of Elysius's old movement, which is that ellipse that it did. Okay, so let's remove that because I feel like it has to do with that random. What? Well, there's one thing. We don't want to use that. The don't use this for now, which is why it's called don't use this for now. Change that to random explode timer. And make sure the other one's correct. Yeah, random explode timer. I was pretty sure because it said random on it. It'd probably run a little faster if I wasn't displaying this at 1440p. But I like my high resolution. Actually, usually I just play this on the laptop. I usually just work on this on the laptop. On the laptop's like 1280 by 800 screen. But I thought it would be better for y'all if I did it on here on this nice big screen. Alright, let's see. I'm just gonna make sure like nothing's all screwed up like outside of the Elysius. Yeah, it's fine. Huh. So that has nothing to do with that, as I thought. Imagine if I just came back up onto that and it some reason changed it back to the old don't use this attribute. I would be very upset. And I wouldn't know what I would do about that. Probably cry, to be honest. Goodness gracious, hurry up. There we go. Okay, cool. No, that's not it. Once I fix this, I think, this issue, I think I'm going to end the stream here. Because how long has the stream gone on so far? How long has it? It's gone for about, yeah, an hour and a half, an hour 26 minutes to be exact. But I'm probably gonna end it after that because this screen, it's so bright. Like I said, it's so bright. It hurts my eyes after a while. Actually, my roommate, he sleeps over there, and I sleep over here. You probably can't see. My bed's like where I'm pointing. And since my monitor's over here, my monitor, it basically lights up the whole room when the lights are out. Which is why I turned the lights on, kind of. Because first off, it was just, it hurt my eyes. And so when my roommate's sleeping and I'm awake, like I have to use my laptop. In fact, I usually have to just leave the room because this monitor is so freaking bright. He calls it the second sun. But okay, so he's at Snug. My other roommate was wondering where my. Okay, so I'm actually gonna tell the names because I'm not gonna just call them my roommate. So the person who just talked to me is my roommate Justin, and the person who sits over here, the tall one, that's Phil. And Justin was just wondering where Phil was. Okay, so what the fuck is the issue with this? Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna change this so that it's every zero point 0.1 seconds, just for now. And then I'll just disregard that completely. What the hell? That has nothing to do with that. Like, for some reason. Like, what the what the hell? I got no idea what the problem with this is right now. Like, what on earth? Okay, 1 second. I'm actually gonna go over and do something real quick. whatever. Sorry about that. What the fuck is going on here? This wasn't an issue. When its new health is less than 0.05, so when it's like zero, about it should. What the hell is the problem here? So I'm going to have it so that this isn't even up. So I'm gonna have it so this doesn't happen. So all that will happen is that color red will change to 1. Its linear velocity x will be 0, so it won't move, and then this will be that. So if this isn't the case, then I don't know what. And if I'm probably gonna have to dive deeper into it, and I'm just probably not gonna do that during the stream. Um, but okay, okay. So that works. That works. It seems to be when it starts to move around rapidly, that's when it starts to act all erratic. So here, actually, sorry. Um, God, I hate this. Um, when it loads all up again, ugh, but when it loads all up again, I'm gonna have it so that the rapid explosions still happens, but the dashing back and forth that I had, it was working at first, but I'll keep that. I'll have that off, and I'll just see like what. So just so I have a clear idea of what works and what doesn't work. Excuse me. Yeah, anytime now. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. There we go. So every 0.1 seconds. Actually, you know what? No, let's okay. Let's have it so that it's random explode. Let's just do that because obviously random explode that was not the issue, and that's just in clear. Random explode timer is real. That's a real okay. That's a real number. So it could be any real number, even pi. So a random explode timer. So every that time amount of seconds, it will do that. Okay. So let's try this out. Excuse me. And if that some reason turns it off or whatever, I'm probably just gonna end the stream because right now, all this is just me going back and forth between this, and usually spending half of that waiting for all this to render. Rendering seems like such a weird thing to say when making programs. Like I have to wait for all this code to render, which is quite literally what's happening. So it has to do with that, I guess, with the random explode timer. But yeah, but I had that off, and I had it when it was changing attributes between a knit X and an X Y, or moving around. That also happened. So you know what? Okay. So I think I'm gonna end the stream here. And I probably will do another stream at some point. Hopefully soon. I did this because I wanted y'all to kind of see, what I'm doing and what is, yeah, just what I do when I'm making this. Because you see all the screenshots and you see all the cool stuff, but you don't really know what's behind all of it. So that's what I kind of wanted to do with this. Um, but right now I don't want it to hit a point where it's ridiculously boring, which it probably is right now. It's also kind of stressful to me right now for me. So I'll probably uh figure this out, and then when I make another stream, or if you follow if you liked my Facebook page, which if you haven't, you really should. It's facebook.com/ads in all capital letters, ads entertain. But I'll probably post an update on that Facebook page about that issue. I'll figure it out eventually, and when I do, you will know. And either in the next stream, I probably will have this guy done because I'm probably actually gonna do a lot of this. Like once I fix it, I'm probably gonna finish up Elytras. So when I'm done with that and I do my next stream, I'll probably give you a preview of how she works, and then we'll probably work on the next thing, which will probably be the fifth boss. Because while the fifth boss is actually a pretty clean boss fight for the most part, he does need some work still. I'm gonna do some modifications and some adjustments and yada yada yada. But anyways, if you watch this stream, thank you very much for watching it. It's very much appreciated. Um, and if you want to see more stuff like this, follow me on Twitch. I'll definitely know that, and it'll let me know that hey, I like your videos. So that means I'll make more. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next stream.